The words landed softly, but they shook him harder than any shout ever could. She stood there in the clear light of day, calm and steady, saying he owed her rent, and in that moment his whole life felt like a balance sheet of unpaid debts, silent failures, and promises he had made to himself but never managed to keep. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet miracles that happen in ordinary daylight, take a second right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Midnight Tales. Your support keeps stories like this alive. His name was Armin Halim, and he had learned the sound of disappointment early in life. The small rental house he stood in front of sat at the edge of a tidy neighborhood where mornings smelled like freshly watered lawns and coffee drifting from open windows. It was the kind of place that looked forgiving, even welcoming, but Armin knew appearances lied. He had been living there for 6 months, surviving on freelance repair work, fixing fences and leaky pipes under a sun that never seemed to rest. The days were bright, almost cruelly so, revealing every crack in his life that darkness might have hidden. He had lost his previous job after the company downsized, lost his savings trying to keep his mother's medical bills paid, and lost most of his pride somewhere in between. The only thing he had not lost yet was his stubborn belief that things could still turn around. The woman who owned the house was named Serena Caldwell, a name that carried quiet authority. She was not harsh, not cruel, and not raised by struggle in the way Armin was. She carried herself with the calm confidence of someone who had rebuilt her life once already and learned the value of boundaries. Her late husband had left her the property, along with a mountain of grief and responsibility. Renting it out had been her way of staying afloat, of keeping busy during the long daylight hours when memories grew loud. When Armin had moved in, she had seen the weariness in his eyes and agreed to a flexible arrangement, trusting that effort mattered as much as money. But time moved forward, and unpaid rent had a way of becoming impossible to ignore. Armin listened as she explained the situation in measured words, her voice steady like the afternoon breeze moving through trimmed hedges. He felt shame rise in his chest, hot and heavy, but he also felt something else, a strange clarity that often comes when there is nothing left to lose. He looked at the neat garden behind her, the house glowing softly under the sun, and understood that she was not his enemy. She was simply standing on her side of reality. That was when he asked, not with arrogance but with quiet resolve, what if he could give her something better than rent? What he offered was not money, because he had none. He offered work, time, and honesty. He told her about his skills, about how he had grown up helping his father fix broken things in their neighborhood during long summer days. He spoke about his mother, about the bills, about the fear of falling so far behind that there was no way back. The daylight did not soften his words, but it made them feel real, grounded, undeniable. Serena listened, arms crossed not in defense but in thought. She had heard excuses before, but this felt different. It was not desperation alone. It was purpose struggling to breathe. They agreed on a trial arrangement, one that turned the rental agreement into something closer to a partnership. Armin would maintain the property, improve it, and help with repairs not only there but in nearby houses Serena managed. In return, his rent would be reduced temporarily, reviewed monthly, fair and clear. It was not charity, it was a test of trust. As Serena walked away that day, the sun casting long shadows across the path, Armin felt something he had not felt in a long time. He felt useful. The days that followed were full and bright. Armin woke early, worked under open skies, and let sweat replace worry. He fixed broken steps, repainted fences, revived neglected corners of the garden. Neighbors began to notice, offering water, small talk, and eventually paid work. Serena watched from a distance at first, noting not just the results but the care he put into every task. The house began to feel alive again, not just as a property, but as a place where effort mattered. Armin's confidence grew with every repaired hinge and every satisfied homeowner who recommended him to someone else. What Serena did not expect was how much she would change too. Seeing Armin rebuild his footing reminded her of her own recovery after loss, how someone once gave her patience when she had nothing to offer but perseverance. During bright afternoons, she found herself lingering longer outside, asking about his progress, sharing stories about the house, about the life she once imagined there. The arrangement had started as a practical solution, but it slowly became something deeper, rooted in mutual respect. By the end of the third month, Armin no longer avoided opening his mailbox. He had steady income, growing confidence, and a sense of belonging he thought he had lost forever. When Serena reviewed the numbers with him in the clear light of a warm day, she saw more than payments catching up. She saw growth. He had not just paid what he owed, he had added value to everything around him. The house stood stronger, the neighborhood felt warmer, and she herself felt lighter. Just before the story reaches its end, take a moment and comment below what kindness or second chances mean to you. Your words matter more than you know. The day Armin finally paid the full rent again, the sun was high and forgiving. There was no dramatic celebration, no grand speech. Just a quiet understanding between two people who had chosen empathy over assumption. Armin had given her something better than rent. He had given her proof that belief, when placed carefully, could grow into something solid and real. If this story touched your heart, stirred a memory, or reminded you that daylight can still bring miracles, please like, comment, and share this video. Engage with it, let it travel, because someone out there may need this reminder today.